So I'm going to talk about play at scale, and I'm going to get into what this is. So creative success but business failure of projects like Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser, of which I was an immersive experience director for, prove that masses of people want to roleplay in immersive themed environments, but not everybody can afford to pay what it takes to create and sustain such experiences. So the question really becomes, how do we bring this art form to the masses that want this without sacrificing the quality, depth, and intimacy of the experience? Well, I've got some ideas. All right, so the underpinning theory here is that people want to be active participants in their own choiceful, meaningful stories, just as Adrian was talking about. People want a role-playing theme park, but there are some problems, so let's address them. First problem, scalability. Theme parks rely on guest throughput, and guest satisfaction really goes down. It plummets when throughput is low. So on average, Hollywood Studios, for example, gets 30,000 visitors a day. Try to imagine a LARP at that scale. It doesn't really work, right? Now, we can also assume that we have a 1 to 25 ratio of cast to participants. When I say cast here, what I'm actually talking about are the interactive actors who are facilitating these experiences for people. So if you want to have 500, just 500 participants, that's 20 actors that you need for that. And then you need to cast 5 deep because there are contingencies, people get sick, et cetera, because the need for resiliency. So scalability, not so great. It doesn't really work. So next up, we've got the commercial viability of things like this. So we know that live actors are irreplaceable technology, right? A live actor can respond to you in real time. They can do things that no computer system can possibly do. We need live actors for these things. They're also expensive. We also need integrated information distribution systems. This is how we understand what's going on with the larger world and make sure everybody's on the same page with that. Those things, expensive. Immersive environments, also really vital technology for this. People need to feel immersed in the actual physical set and setting. Guess what? It's expensive. So we have a business model problem here, right? So this is a business model breakdown of a single voyage of Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. I'm not using insider info, I'm just business savvy, and like these are publicly available numbers. So the important thing here, oh, you can't see it. Oh no. It's down at the bottom. Anyway, the important thing here is that this margin is dangerously thin. Once you're below 50% capacity for what you're expecting, you are reliant on ticket sales. And that doesn't work for a theme park setting. It doesn't work for an experience like this. It's just not gonna fly. Oh, there we go. See? Dangerously thin. Razor thin margins, not good. So commercial viability, bad, right? That doesn't work either. Okay, so next up, sustainment. So, as we spoke about, live actors are irreplaceable technology. The more content that you have, the longer it takes to train in new people. That means you're never not rehearsing. It means that if you want that bench of 5 casts deep, you need to rehearse constantly, all the time, just to cross-train into roles. It's a nightmare. And the more content you have, the longer it takes. So, systems that work for theatrical shows and theme park settings don't work for immersive entertainment. So this means you're constantly negotiating the boundaries of contingencies and scheduling and all these other things. It's an operational nightmare. Also, live actors deserve care, right? And these are hard roles. These are hard things to do. And right now, the only thing actors get paid for is performance. They have no pay that is for them in the sort of end-rolling and warm-up phase, and they have no thought of aftercare or de-rolling whatsoever, right? And they're not paid for that time. That's captured time instead. Outside mental health services, also, these are vital things for actors who are handling guests constantly. Those things only are supported for people who are full-time cast. It's not good. We owe our actors better than that. We also, as we said, these are vital technologies, and they require a lot of architecture. And that means that if you have any changes to your system, that's extremely fraught to deploy. So you're incentivized to basically not make any changes. You don't want to make changes as much as possible. So you're designing a system of rails. This is not scalable. It doesn't really work. So immersive environments, vital technology, require maintenance, right? And because of that, we have these really highly specialized vendors. We get this vendor lock-in problem where now it's very, very expensive to fix anything. So sustainment. Guess what? Oh, there we go. Surprising, right? So just to review, We've got agency, yes, the thing we want, right? Scalability, commercial viability, sustain. Oh, okay. So how do we fix this? If everything's a designable surface, all we need to do is increase our throughput, lower our overhead, improve our sustainment, and just make meaningful agency while we're doing it. So easy. So here's how we do it. As we know, this integrated technology is critical for scaling, but it needs to be simple. It needs to be accessible. No tech for the sake of tech. We need to eliminate the vendor lock-in and reliance problem. So there are some examples of people who are doing this fairly well already. Phantom Peak, Level 99, Super Nintendo World, Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. Some people would argue about that. You can fight me later. So here's how this could work. So imagine you're at an experience, everybody has a wearable RFID kind of technology, they carry around a mobile device that's skinned to match the environment in some way, and thanks to the tech, now we can geofence the area, and we have a good understanding of not only the gameplay engagement, but also the social graph. We know where storylines are coming from, who interacted with what, for how long, etc. So we can use our bands and mobile devices, players can share information with one another, and they can create their own emergent narratives and storylines. On the back end, the GMs can see how these stories are being shared and engaged with and support those emergent stories. And then they can write and deploy new storylines or support the player-led storylines in real time via a very small writer's room and a small crew of actors that they need to seed certain plot lines. So there's another key here, though, which is counter players. What's a counter player? So a counter player is this special type of player who kind of crosses the divide here between Evan Turner and Kat Jones called them GM players or player GMs, counter players, and they really love to help, they love to teach, they love to collaborate, they love to create enjoyable adversity for people as well. I think that there's probably a lot of people in this room who are counter players. You know who you are. You can't get out of facilitator mode. It's what you like to do. It's the gameplay style that you find the most enjoyable. This was true aboard Star Wars Galactic Starcruiser. We had counter players, and they came in abundance, and they loved it, and they wanted to teach and grow the audience base, and they wanted to do that as paying customers. So if we can leverage that, now this ratio changes, right? So now if we have that same 1:25 ratio, we just need one actor, for every 650 players. Suddenly we have a much more scalable system. But that means that we need to know who our counter players are, right? And we need to know who is really trusted. So here's how this could work. When you are in a private space, the app surfaces to you players that you've recently connected with. This is not to give a rich profile or anything. It's just for you a tool for learning names. Optionally, you can give them a kudos for a cool interaction that you've had. And this is only visible to the GMs. It's never visible to them, therefore sort of disincentivizing trying to game the system for anything. And then staff has data visualizations, the capability to see where those counter players are, where those people are in real time, and deploy them, and that they have certain skills. So a broad survey of about 300 LARPers, these are the traits of counter players that people trust the most and most want to see. They are collaborative, they are supportive, they are inclusive, they are creative, and they are theatrical. And people have these things in different measures, and I think that these are really valuable. So, putting it all together, here's how this works. So, now with a very relatively small number of actors and writers, you can deliver and react to real-time content for players. So there's very little activity over in Sector 1. Deploy a creative and theatrical counterplayer to go engage a crowd. There's a huge crowd gathered in Sector 2, but we need an inclusive counterplayer to get everyone to go over to Sector 3, where there's going to be a new storyline that's kicked off. Now we have a supportive counterplayer. There's somebody that's feeling a little lost. We're going to deploy a supportive counterplayer to go welcome them to the land and get them onboarded. So do we succeed here? Yes, 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 yes. So I think that as trends show us, audiences really want to play in these imaginary worlds more than ever. And now we have to be responsive to their desires. So it's not about designing attractions. This is about designing worlds and that are accessible, beautiful, and fun, and the tools and systems to actually support those worlds. So I think that whoever designs the best system for supporting collaborative, bottom-up driven play, player-created stories is going to be wildly successful. The end.